Welcome back to the what you call it, the last quarter,
home stretch.
Home stretch.
We're in the horse race business.
That's
today.
correct.
And last quarter too, that works.
That works. That works. Let's talk about a few of our friends that died. People that I know well enough in most cases to talk about them. And of course, one of them was Mr. Paul Boanni Jr. Mr. Paul, what does it say his age here? Pretty good years there. I don't see it right off the bat, but they owned the flower shop. He and Mr. Paul Boanni and Manny and the Veltins' mother.
Where was that located?
That was located on Vine Street. And it says in here the name of it.
How was it? That's coming in from Eunice on the right hand
right
side.
Here,
House of Flowers.
House of Flowers and Interiors for 37 years, and very nice guy. And in later years. He took up motorcycling, and I'll tell you what, he put some miles. He used to go get coffee in Lake Charles on a regular basis every week. He was in there 1 or 2 times a week having coffee, and my deepest sympathies. And Miss Norma Jean Miller, didn't know her well, but I was in her company one time years ago. There was a Mr. West that opened a restaurant and a dance hall over near Chautauqua, Louisiana, on the corner there. And I went there one night, maybe with Gerald Hidalgo, I'm not sure, but she was there having a fun time. She was really a character, and her husband was Mr. Bobby Miller, who used to be a police juror. So a good combination of personalities there. What about music pioneer? Kitty Wells dies at age 92. What and you said
the huge hit. It wasn't God that made Honky Tonk Angels, but then you told me something I didn't know about the song.
The song was written by J.D. Miller, Mr. J.D. Miller from Crowley, Louisiana. He wrote music, and he recorded many of our early musicians, any type of music. He had a beautiful studio and up-to-date equipment back in those days. Today it would be a little different, but they always got a good sound out of those music, and that's when they did the big plastic
the vinyl records. And Kitty Wells, of course, was the first, I guess, big superstar female solo artist. Before that time, if you were a female and you sang, you did like the Carter Family, with the whole family sang, or you had some guy you sang with in a duet. But she actually was her own lady.
Her own lady, and over what's the big place in Nashville? The
Grand Ole Opry.
Grand Ole Opry. She was the lady that broke the ice to get into the Grand Ole Opry. What about our friend Mr. Griffith? We didn't talk about him dying last week.
No, we did not.
Andy Griffith. For many years. In fact, his shows are so good that they're still being played on a regular basis. In fact, that new TV station.
The new lineup starting here in August the 1st will include the Andy Griffith show.
I hope so. And of course, Miss Alicia Guillory, who got killed in the accident. I learned a little bit more. John Lionel and Bernadette Dupre Swallow, that's Harold Dupre's sister. They were the grandparents of this little girl. And
involved in
John Lionel, of course, is a successful businessman, but also very successful in the racing of quarter horses, and won a big stake race at Delta Downs last week. 100,000 plus purse. The purse was 100,000 or more, maybe even a little bit more than that.
But the little girl's a student here at Opelousas
Catholic, and very interested in the horse business. She was a member already, American Quarter Horse Association, and she planned on attending a veterinary school. And you could tell that was the eyes of Mr. John Lionel. That first time they showed about the accident and the death and all that on the news at 5 o'clock, there was a picture, and I knew the man,
right.
but I couldn't think of the name. But then when I read the article, I found out who it was. What about our friend over Mr. Willis over
Jeff
at
Willis,
LSU?
over at LSU?
Jeff. He recently recognized as one of the most successful coaches in the junior college league.
Oh, yeah. He's what, won 3 titles so far, 3 national titles while he's been at LSU. I mean, he's just really doing a great job, and it's amazing how many of his players, if you get a chance to go to the ballpark at LSU, go see, they've got a huge sign that shows all the players that have played for him that play in the major leagues. I mean, it's incredible. And they go from there to some of the bigger colleges sometimes.
Right,
sometimes they
LSU.
go straight to the pros.
And right here, some of them playing right there at LSU. In fact, one of the top players this past year played a year over at LSUE. Right. Quentin Payne, I don't know Coach Payne, but he is the new head coach over at Opelousas High School. So he's out there showing in this hot weather, working them out. But you got to work them hard to get them ready, because when that season starts, then it rolls right on through. You don't get many breaks.
And he's got to get a lot of those kids in shape. I know they had a smaller group. They're trying to get more kids to come out for football. So if you're interested in football OHS, show up. They will need you.
Talking about showing up, this young man must have showed up on the track pretty often and must have been pretty successful. And I'm speaking of Alonzo, better known as A.J. Harris. He's a student, or was a student. He graduated at North Central High School here in North St. Landry Parish. And his father, of course, is our senior district judge, Alonzo Harris, and his mother is Dawn Willis Harris. And good morning to all of you. And of course, in the picture is also Clarence Butch Fontenot.
Oh, he has coached forever.
And has really produced some good teams and some good leadership. He's helped the young people that he's come in contact with.
I got to watch AJ run this year in quite a few track meets, and very powerful, great guy. And I was telling you about how his dad, the judge, he's one of those good dads, sits in the stands, doesn't make a ruckus, lets the coach his son, gives the young man encouragement, always there encouraging him at all his meets. I mean, very, very impressive. It's good when you got good parents that help shore these kids up, and you see he's going off to college and going to do well. So. And
of course, the principal, Mr. Jerome Robinson, is also in that picture. So congratulations to you, AJ, and good luck. And while we're on sports, I see where Mike Artigo with Artigo Oil and Construction Company here in Opelousas is presenting a $1,000 check as a football supplement for the UL program in Lafayette. And Gerald Hebert is the recipient on behalf of the athletic department. And of course, we are kept updated, as you know, by Tibor Hebert out of Kenner, Louisiana. He's very, very active. And UL, of course, winning the bowl game that they played and the number of games under the brand new coach. There's a lot of excitement in the air.
Picked third in the conference this year, but I think the coach, he might have a disagreement with that. I think he thinks they're a little better than that.
Well, they'll have to prove it. But, you know, he's the type that is ready to prove the fact. And, of course, the Schoenig case, as we speak right now on Wednesday, it's scheduled for a grand jury hearing, which is kind of quick. And I'm sure that the defense is going to be filing some motions to delay this. And
well, the grand jury saw it.
You can't stop that?
The grand jury just rolls. Now, when your trial comes up, if the grand jury chooses to indict, then
that's when the delays start taking.
That's when they're going to try to delay.
Well, good. I didn't know that. I find that this came up fast. They must feel they have a lot of good evidence.
That's what it looks like. Usually it doesn't, but if you have enough to put him in jail and you want to hold him in jail, then your obligation is you got to hurry up and show why you want to hold him. And if you have enough to hold him, you have to have enough to go to a grand jury, and the ball rolls from there. That's to keep people from just getting stuck in jail, and the wheels of justice have to turn.
Tony Cormier, who operates a used car, truck, and automobile sales office here next to AT&T office, where they had the little bar at one time, and that whole corner is full of late model vehicles, mostly pick-em-up trucks, of the diesel all the way down to the small economy trucks. Tony operates this for Mr. Don. I can't think of the last name, but Don's Wholesale is the name of the company. That's where he went to buy, he meaning Mr. Laverne, went to buy a vehicle similar to the one that was stolen and burned in Texas. Kind of suspicious, but that's not for us to determine. That's for the grand jury is going to hear that story out. But that's where he was. That's where he shopped and purchased another vehicle. And I think that they kind of noticed something, being nervous about the gentleman and all, and might have been partially a lead that was developed.
He had some medical treatment, according to the newspapers in New Orleans. Also in the newspaper yesterday, the day before, in the Independent, they claim monopolies as well, after the date of when she disappeared.
Yeah, she must have put up a good fight, It's sad. I guess everybody's pretty much thinking she's dead now. You hate to use that word, but the facts are the facts. And but closure would be so good if they could.
One way or the other, the family needs closure.
They need closure. It's been a 24-hour-a-day search. I know they've searched right here in St. Landry Parish, came in with all the best equipment they can get to try to search it.
Equus or whatever out of Texas is here, one of the biggest ones in the country.
They're back again, and anyhow,
our prayers are with the family,
and the friends.
Yeah. Because the friends are really active in this whole thing. My boy Ian was friends with her and very active in the whole group. So.
Casey Kane capitalizes on a confusion. There was a restart that kind of had a little, one of the top drivers, the man in the lead, who was that? Hamlin. Denny Hamlin was leading in the race, and he indicated he wanted two tires changed, and crew chief changed 4 tires, and in the meantime, when he finally got back onto the track, Casey Kane had taken the lead, and he was down to maybe 11th or 12th. Is that far back he fell and worked his way back to second, but couldn't back. He was kind of upset. And of course, Casey Kane is a good young driver, and that's his second victory so far this year. And another wild finish, as they call it.
How about Drew Brees? You and I talked last week. I said, what we're going to do to get it done? And what do I tell you?
Just
pay the man.
Pay the man, and they paid him. $100 million. He's going to be the highest paid athlete in $NFL history.
$40 million up front, $60 million guaranteed.
Yeah, $60 million is guaranteed. 40 of it is up front.
And then it'll be $100 million total. Not too bad.
Pretty good.
He'll be at the office.
Yes, Jimmy John's is a restaurant sandwich, makes sandwiches, and that's where I picked up that little ticket. When a parking ticket, we were at Jimmy John's in Omaha.
And he owns Drew Brees owns some in New Orleans.
Owns some in New Orleans. So anyhow, it's time. Yep,
we're down to the end.
First, we want to thank everybody, like we always attempt to do. Thanks for listening. Thanks for viewing. We like to recommend to you to consider attending the church of your choice this weekend. And a closing thought will be, Heavenly Father, I give you thanks because I can be sure of your help for all that regards my body. Thanks for viewing. Thanks, and tell a friend. Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you.